In accordance with Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by resolution of the Municipal Council adopted on June 17, 2025, setting forth the schedule of meetings for the year 2025-2026. Said notice was published and posted on the City Hall Bulletin Board by the Office of the City Clerk. Please be further advised, this meeting will be conducted in person. The Zoom provided is for viewing only and is offered to the public as a convenience. On November 10th, 2025, public notice and Zoom instructions for this meeting were published in the Herald News and posted on the City of Passaic website on www.cityofpassaic.com, council agendas. Instructions are also available on the last page of this agenda. Please be guided accordingly.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Love,
Present.
Councilwoman Mello,
Present.
Councilman Mayor,
Here.
Councilman Garcia,
Present.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Present.
and Council President Scheer.
President, shall we all please rise?
Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to meet this evening. We ask you to please guide us in the decisions that will take place this evening. In your beloved name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, colleagues, members of the public. Thank you for joining with us tonight. As a matter of immediate business, the administration has requested that resolution number 42 be removed from tonight's agenda. Is there any objection to removal of item 42? See no lights at this time. We will take off 42. I believe we're going to dive right into hearing of citizens, yes?
Yes.
Very good. We're on Roman numeral 5, excuse me. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-1 et sec., the council opens every public meeting for comments of the public. However, in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12, nothing in this act shall be construed to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation at any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the council will not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered bias intimidation, in which a person intends to intimidate any individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or makes comments intending to harass or speak any offensive language. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion. Is there anyone who would like to address the council?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Joshua Goldman, 185 High Street. I thank you for the opportunity to address the council now for the third time regarding the zoning of the R1A district in the city. I'm not going to repeat statements I've made in the past. Relevant reason I'm here today is approximately 2 weeks ago, the applicant for the application that was the genesis of my concerns withdrew their application. Some of you may have been aware, some of you may not have been aware. I'm hopeful that now that the application has been withdrawn, that any impediment to discussing a rezoning has now been removed. Obviously, I saw the agenda today, and obviously not on the agenda, but I am hopeful that the council will consider a rezoning of the area. I'm not coming as a my way or the highway. I'm happy to explore alternative options. I've never heard a constituency that doesn't want a rezoning of some kind. There may be disagreements in terms of what is appropriate, what's not, but I do think it's appropriate. And whereas the concern as in facing the prior application was that once the zoning is in place, your hands are tied in terms of how you can respond to applications only in accordance with the applicable zoning district that in place. Now the council has the opportunity to proactively make corrections, update the zoning to more appropriately reflect the 21st century, not the 70-year-old zoning that's in place. I would request the council to either, obviously it's at their discretion, but the council president, if there's something that's intended to be planned to be discussed maybe at a later date, to just let me know. I don't want to have to bring my neighbors and friends. They're happy not to be here. I'm happy not to take up too much of your time. But obviously, it is something that is obviously of concern to myself and many of my neighbors. And I believe it is timely to make changes. So that is the purpose of my visit tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council?
Seeing no hands, I move to close.
Second.
Motion and second to close.
We got
We
someone.
gentlemen.
Roll call.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
We have someone, Mr. President.
Here. Oh, I'm trying to, forgive me, I didn't see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Joe Consenti, Council President. My question that I have is, we had a historic in the city of Passaic for, say, about 30 years. All of a sudden, a few years ago, it was replaced by a historic committee. My question is, where is this committee? Who's on this committee? And what's taking place with this committee? Is there any way I can get a list of the names that was appointed for that committee? That's my question on that one. My next question is, we have several departments. You got City Hall, DPW, Recreation, the Park Department, you have Fire Department, we have the Police Department, you got a Fire Chief, and you have a Police Chief. So why is other people getting involved with these departments when all these departments have department heads and they get salary and they have to do their protocols? So why do we have people interfering with their positions? These are my questions tonight.
That's the end of your question?
Yeah, that's it tonight.
Okay, so you asked about a city historian. I know that for a long time, the city had an historian.
Right,
I believe the position was vacated.
right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the mayor subsequently did make a city historian, and I believe the gentleman's name is Mr. Mark Auerbach. You can get information on
But he's no
contacting-
longer here. I'm asking, the new
Excuse me?
committee is what I'm asking about. Who are they?
Which committee?
Of the historic committee that you put together.
Well, there
A
is
few
no
years ago.
there is no requirement, sir, for the city to have an historic committee. Current mayor Laura has not appointed one, to the best
Yes,
of my
they did.
knowledge. Excuse me?
Yes, they did. Right here in this council chamber, you guys voted it in.
Then what you should be doing in this case, because it is done by the executive as an ability to serve his purposes and that of his administration. The committee does not report to this council, it reports to him. I would direct you to contact the mayor and ask him any questions you might have. But it is not within the purview of this council to do anything except receive and file for the position of member of the historic committee.
The next question,
That was the question. What was the question?
the next one,
Which was?
about the department. All these department heads are not, you got people interfering with their jobs.
Then I
These people get salaries.
Then I suggest, sir, that using this as a forum or anywhere else that you can get a forum to get one, the administration has broad latitude to be the administration, to be the executive, to get the job done. If the executive believes that they need 16 sergeants and 4 captains and 3 whatever, that's their decision. The council has no effect upon those decisions in most cases. In some cases there are, but they're not always the case. The
That's not even the
administration is
question.
provided by law with that administration, with that
Legal
ability
spin.
to get things done.
All legal spin.
I'm sorry?
All legal spin. You're not even on the.
It's not legal spin, sir, it's the law. Well, I appreciate talking to your back as you walk away. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council?
there's a gentleman here.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Calvin Merrick, 227 Summer Street, Passaic. I just have a quick question. Mount Moriah Baptist Church submitted an application for a sign to be placed in front of the church. It was supposed to be on first reading last meeting that was canceled, and second meeting tonight. I read through it, maybe my older eyes skipped over it. I was just wondering, are we on for this evening?
Mr. Fernandez.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a forum for the council, if we're talking about the signage, right?
I believe
Zoning.
that would go before the zoning board, Mr. Mayor, not before this council.
Oh, okay. The engineer's office told us that it was going to be on the council meeting, last meeting, and then the second reading tonight. But the last
Oh,
meeting
are
was
you talking
canceled.
about clergy parking? Or
No, not clergy parking, loading and unloading.
Oh, the
in front of
loading
services,
zone. Okay,
in front
that's a
of-
little different.
While services are going on.
Yes. So that would be a letter that would come to the clerk. Clerk, did you get the letter for that property
No,
as of
sir.
yet?
No, sir.
So the engineering department would forward a letter to the clerk's office. She doesn't have it in her possession, and then it would come for the council to review their recommendation. So we have, as of yet, I haven't seen that. In fact, the only one I saw was a Broadway application. I got that one. So what we'll do is we'll follow up with the council president. We'll follow up with engineering so that we can get an update to Mr. Merritt so that you'll know exactly when it's on. Because I haven't received that.
Okay, I was in there over a month ago, and the young lady called, and she called the clerk's office, and it was supposed to be scheduled for first reading last meeting, which was canceled, which we realized, and it was supposed to be first reading tonight in that order, but
I will defer to the clerk's office about that. I haven't seen it come across my desk, so we'll follow up with engineering if that's the case. I will personally follow up with engineering.
okay, will somebody get back to me, or,
Yes, of course.
okay, because I'm the one that signed the letter and submitted everything.
With the council president's permission, we can follow up.
Nice to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Good to see you all.
Calvin Merritt.
Anyone else like to address the council at this time?
I see no one who would like to move the public question.
Second.
Motion and second to close public hearing.
Councilman Monk,
Second.
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you very much. I understand that the mayor is joining us virtually this evening? Yes. Mayor, can you hear us?
I haven't made him co-host. I don't see his name. He's not on.
All right, so we'll await his phone call certainly. Why don't we go into, with council's permission, ordinances for second and final reading, Roman numeral 6. Number 1, proposed ordinance 2501-25, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for blocks 3212, lots 21 and 23, corresponding to 91-95 Paulson Avenue in the city of Passaic, New Jersey. Is there a motion, please, to open public discussion? Motion?
Second.
And second, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the council will be considering proposed ordinance 2501-25. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Seeing no hands, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call to close.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fernandez. What are we doing on this?
So this is a redevelopment project that would eliminate 2 prohibited rooming houses on Paulson Avenue. So this plan would demolish 2 rooming houses that exist. Clearly, there's a number of violations and situations that have occurred. And it is additionally to that, in our zoning code, rooming houses are a prohibited use. So this plan would eliminate 2 prohibited uses. It would then provide for an ability to provide brand-new housing with a over 20% set aside for affordable housing. So we're not losing, because one would argue you're losing rooming houses and affordability, but in this case, we're providing valuable, affordable rentals along with market rate and making it in a much more conducive establishment.
How many apartments will there be?
So it's 36 units, 12 of them being affordable with, much more parking than what was there now.
And currently, how many residences are provided in the rooming houses?
So the rooming houses is ranging in that kind of vicinity. So it's in the 30 room vicinity.
And why can't I, tomorrow morning, open up a rooming house? What precludes me?
So it's prohibited. It's a prohibited use in the city of Passaic. So whenever possible, what we try to do is eliminate the prohibited use and convert it into a permitted use. And with this redevelopment plan, we've given the incentive to the developer to be able to do that. So just for everybody's edification, rooming houses are one of the most difficult uses to eliminate. And the reason for that is that they're very lucrative because they rent per room versus per apartment. So they can have a very small space and get a lot of income from it. So they're always extremely difficult to eliminate. And I'm proud to say that under this administration, we've at least removed at least 4 or 5 of them and been able to convert them into affordable units for families.
And, why can't I a rooming house tomorrow? It's prohibited use. So how did these rooming houses maintain themselves? Is this a
So they
grandfather?
pre-existed the establishment of the prohibition in our code.
Very good. Any questions?
Yes, Council President.
Yes, Councilman Monk?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. The on page 7, which refers to parking standards. So in item 1, it says applicants are strongly recommended to obtain off-site parking agreements for a minimum of 10 years for spaces that cannot be accommodated on site. So what does it mean by applicants are recommended?
Right. So,
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
So under this plan, there is a specific parking requirement. Right. And if you look on page 7, you'll see the parking standards that we have for the apartments, which is standard in all our redevelopment plans. If you cannot accommodate this standard and you are short, we are requesting that you make, so when the planning board reviews this application, they may ask the applicant, you're short parking, did you try to go get additional parking off-site somewhere else so that you can meet your parking standards, even though you couldn't meet them on your current site? So that's why that language is in there. So we're trying to encourage, don't just come ask for a parking variance, show us that you really need the parking variance because you've exhausted all other options.
I see. Okay, thank you. And item 2, which is something that has been added in, and I think,
Yes.
which is, thank you, Mayor and Mr. Business Administrator. I think it'll help a lot regarding parking, and that is item 2 is at a minimum 1 parking space must be assigned to each unit at no additional cost to the tenant. Now,
Yes.
I would recommend that maybe we tweak that a little bit, because if you look at item 3 states off-site shared parking agreements. The planning board is hereby given the authority to waive any and all of a uses parking requirements in this redevelopment plan if a parking structure or surface parking lot with adequate capacity is located within 500 feet of the subject use. Now, the purpose of item 2, right, where a minimum 1 parking space must be assigned to each unit, is because tenants tend to, they don't want to pay extra for a spot, and they will park on the street. And as the city redevelops site after site, and we're adding more housing will just cause more and more of a problem with the lack of parking in the city of Passaic. By allowing a lot to be 500 feet away, and the developer could use that lot 500 feet away as the parking spot that is being designated to the tenant, which he must designate for no cost, is really going to take away the goal here of forcing tenants to park off site. Because again, if you assign me a lot 500 feet away, the 500 feet away is almost a tenth of a mile. You're really basically, and the developer, the owner, has to assign me a spot. It's really meaningless, because I'm not using that spot that's 500 feet away. I will be parking on the street.
So if I can respectfully disagree from a planning perspective, so this is less than a 2.5 minute walk from any site. And what this allows is, if there's a parking deck, for example, that's within this 500 feet, that they can make lease agreements, which is standard even in our underlying zoning without this, that you would make a lease agreement to accommodate your parking needs. That happens right now, whether this is in here or not. So a developer can come in and say they themselves can be building a parking deck, or they can partner up with another developer and build a parking deck between two properties and be able to use this to facilitate the parking. So it's going to provide the parking necessary and adequately. And this is typically reserved for more of the larger projects, or projects that have a parking deck nearby. As an example, let's take our parking deck across the street.
I could. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
If there's a development, let's say nearby, and there's a shortage of parking, what we've done, which the boards have done, has put in their resolution as a condition of approval that that developer has to actually pay the annual fee for that parking space and give it to each one of the units.
Okay. So let me tell you what I would do if this was my project. Okay. And I was putting up 20 units, and let's say this 20 units obligates me to have 30 spots. All right. And I have, I don't know, let's say I have 30 spots on premises. Okay. On premises, 30 spots.
Okay.
I could technically go rent a lot 500 feet away, make a parking agreement with someone 500 feet away, and give those the spots that are 500 feet away, designate those as the free parking to the residents, and on-site parking I could charge for.
Yeah. So where the issue comes in, if you read the first sentence, right, that would be a failure on the planning board, because it doesn't give the developer the ability to do that. It gives the planning board the ability to waive it. So if I'm a planning board member and I see that there's on-site parking and I don't make that condition, that's a failure on either board. It could be the zoning board or the planning board, because they're showing on-site parking spaces. So even though I understand your concept, I disagree with it logistically, because that's not what this says. It doesn't give the developer that right. It allows the planning board to consider that as part of their approval. So that would be my rebuttal to that argument.
So what do we have to lose by amending item 2 here, that a minimum of one parking space must be assigned to each unit and no additional cost on site, as long as there's on-site parking?
Well, if you want to add, as long as there's on-site parking, because the one drawback would be if there's no on-site parking, you've now eliminated any ability for them to provide parking. So So,
No,
I mean, I don't see
When adequate.
if that's what the board would like to amend this to before it goes to the planning board. And just so I'm clear, at minimum, one parking space must be assigned to each unit on site
When
at no additional cost if available,
or when adequate.
When
right? Or if
If-
provided on site. At
if,
minimum, one parking space must be assigned to each unit on site.
If available.
Well, it'd be a 2A and a 2B. At a minimum, one parking space must be assigned to each unit at no additional cost to the tenant. And 2B would be when on-site parking is available. This
But it must be on
must
site.
be-
I could do that. Just do an A and a B. That's that's an easier way to do it. B would
Rick?
be.
Will
Rick?
Yes, sir.
will that meaningfully affect?
Rick,
Yes, sir. Mayor, the council president, mayor's on. Yes, Mayor.
Council President, through the Council President, just a quick question, Rick, does that in any way impact those who are receiving subsidized assistance or are renting through what we often refer to as rental assistance, Section 8?
It should not, Mayor. It should not. Basically, if I'm understanding it correctly, it would just say you're still allowed to have that 500-foot distance to another parking space, but if it's on site, those no additional cost has to be first. It has to be on site first. Like because if I understood Councilman Monk's dilemma, it is that he doesn't want the developer to make the free parking be 500 feet down and then charge you for the on-site one and charge you for the accommodation. So
Exactly.
In the rare occasion, what I'm asking you is, I may have not heard it correctly, but in the rare occasion where a tenant would want to pay for parking, would that eliminate the option of that tenant being able to pay the additional fund for parking? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
Yes.
Makes sense.
So, yes, I understand you correctly, Mayor. Here, it just says that they would not charge the tenant, and that'll be part of whatever right, for the initial space. So, in your scenario, Mayor, they could, in essence, get one and pay for another one.
Understood.
So basically, right, so basically, in this, your first parking space is free. Any other parking space above that one, you can be charged for. So that would allow individuals understanding the scenario you're talking about to be able to be charged for a unit. I understand.
Got it.
exactly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Didn't this council and executive pass an ordinance regarding rentals and the ability to charge separately for things like parking?
So,
Or would that be not relevant in this discussion?
So at least from a planning perspective, in a legal planning perspective, I think we may be going down an area we may not want to get into, like the specific charges and why they charge it on a lease, right? Because that's a little different than in a redevelopment plan where you're saying, if you're going to charge, you're not going to charge them for the first spot. You can charge them for the following spots, right?
So that would not be in contradiction.
That would be right. But you're still allowed to charge for spots. You just can't charge for the initial spot.
Councilman Monk, are you satisfied by Mr. Fernandez's thoughts and, of course, the mayor's guidance here?
Right. So, well, we make like a 2A and a 2B, and
Right. So the way, so if I can just read it off,
Mr. Mayor,
Sure,
would
please.
that, are you in agreement with that, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
right. So just for the mayor and for Councilman Monk, I'll read it off the way it would be stated,
Thank
and then you let me know, Mayor, if that's good with us with the change. It would say, number 2, at minimum, A, one parking space must be assigned to each unit at no additional cost. B, must be provided on-site if on-site parking is available.
great. Mm-hmm.
Mayor, is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I will make that change, and that will be the change that goes to the planning board
Susie, this is a de minimis change and would not affect? Very good. We're still in discussion of 2501.
Council President, I have a light.
Forgive me, Councilman, you.
Sorry. Just a quick question. One, my experience on the zoning board, and then some feedback from some of these plans. Applications are great, and they put some very extravagant and some detailed things in to get passed. My question is, how is this going to be monitored? And how is it monitored in terms of now the parking spaces given to tenants? Because we've had some complaints of that, of parking spaces were made available during the application phase, but once people started getting into those units, they weren't getting parking.
Right, so that's why one of the directives from the mayor was to make sure that we added that they can provide at least one, right? Because what was happening is there was no requirement, and you would go to the planning board and they would just vote on the plan and say, okay, they have adequate parking. Then the developer would build the project and say to everybody, you got to pay me $200 for a spot, you got to pay me $200 for a spot. And then the property tenants were like, I'm not paying the $200 and I'm going to go on the street. So to avoid kind of what Councilman Monk was saying, right, and to alleviate that need, we're putting in every single plan, at least the ones that we write as a redevelopment plan, that they have to provide at least one parking spot at no additional cost. So you know for a fact that you got one spot for you, right? Now, if you own multiple cars, now you're on your own.
And I got that.
Right.
I understand that. That's the approval phase.
So this was a response to those complaints.
So how is it monitored after the approval?
So what's going to happen is there's going to be a resolution that's made that makes this part of the resolution. When they get their certificate of occupancy, that is made part of the resolution. And if there's a complaint at any point, they can be in violation. No, they can be. They will be in violation of the approval and can be cited and made to bring it back to the approval, in jeopardy of losing that approval if they don't follow what was approved.
So if I'm hearing correctly to my question, it would result in a complaint. If a complaint comes, then the
Correct.
investigation will be
Correct.
launched. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions on 250125?
Yes, please, Council President.
Councilman Monk.
Thank you. An item, I'm sorry, this is building facade and streetscape and layout. Item 15 states any proposed multifamily development with 20 units or larger shall incorporate approximately 2,500 square feet of interior community space as a fitness center, business center. Now, if you go to page 11, which has possible floor and elevation, I don't see in there any space allotted to this community center.
So there, if you look, first, just for the council's edification, this is a concept. It's not what the planning board sees, right? It's kind of an idea of what you can see. But in this case, if you look, this site plan is shaped like a U. If you look at that corner unit, so if you got the long hallway, before you get to the shorter hallway, there's a corner space, and that says very clearly amenity space. So it says amenity area.
Oh, I can't read it. It's so small.
Yeah, so I mean, I would show you on the. I don't know if you could zoom in. If you zoom in, so it's in there. But again, just for the council, when I draw these plans up, it's not going to be exactly what the planning board gets, right? The developer is going to develop a plan based on this guideline that then the planning board is going to review based on this guideline, right? So we're giving you concepts and ideas so that the board can kind of get an idea of what it is that they're looking at. But to say this is exactly what the planning board is going to get, it wouldn't be accurate, right? They're, as long as they meet the guidelines and all the other pages, this is just kind of an idea and a concept. Because I'm not the architect or the engineer, so when they do their plans, you'll get a much clearer version of what it is. This is kind of just a concept. It's just an idea.
So I shouldn't say, oh gosh, it's an amenity room, but on scale with the other apartments, it's not 2,500 square feet.
Right, but that doesn't mean that this may not be. So there's, just as an example, this says floors 2 through 4. If they have this corner on every single floor, they've exceeded.
I see. Got it. Very good.
Right, but I don't know. Again, this is a concept. What they submit to the planning board is what the planning board is going to review. And for example, let's say they come in and try to play fast and loose and make that a unit. Well, then they're not following the guidelines of this plan. And the planning board can say, no, that has to be an amenity space because you're missing the 2,500 square feet of amenity space.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Mayor, please.
Are there any state or city incentives for this redevelopment?
So this is a rehabilitation plan. And what that does is you have the security that once the council and the planning board pass this is a plan that if you follow the guidelines and you don't deviate, is most likely going to get approved, right? So that's a benefit. So there's a sense of security as an investor. And then secondly, because this is an area in need of rehabilitation, if they qualify, so I mean, right, depending on their pro forma, if they qualify, they can apply to this council for a 5-year tax abatement. Now, there are criteria. That's why I said they must qualify. So if they're making a claim financially on this, the short-term tax abatement law wouldn't allow them to qualify to come before us, right? So that's why I'm prefacing with that. I don't know what those numbers are going to look like. And then obviously we're promoting affordable housing. So every applicant, whether it's a redevelopment plan or just somebody who wants to build affordable housing, can always apply to our Office of Community Development for funding. So I wouldn't be surprised as a council member to see an application for funding through HUD. But that's money specifically for that purpose.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on 2501-25? 2501-25? Seeing none at this time, is there a motion to close public hearing?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. The ordinance passes unanimously. Number 2, please. Proposed ordinance 250.
You closed the public
We
portion.
closed, I'm sorry, on the ordinance itself. Move.
Second.
And second. Roll call, please, on the ordinance.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Councilman Mayor, you had a comment?
Yeah, just wanted to make sure 2B was included in that. But
2B is included in that.
2A and 2B.
Was that on the ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we can go to the next one, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next is 2504-25, an ordinance adding Part 12 clergy parking permits to Chapter 295 Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Passaic Code. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing? Motion?
Second.
And second, thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council will be deliberating proposed ordinance 2504-25. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Seeing no hands, I'm moving.
Yes.
Roll call, please. Just keep that thought, Councilman.
No, okay. Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council will be deliberating proposed ordinance 2504-25. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
This is on the ordinance now.
We have to vote on the ordinance.
Council President?
Can we just vote on the ordinance?
No, open.
All right, so let's vote on the ordinance. Councilman Monk has something to say, and he'll have the opportunity to say it once I take my foot out of my mouth. But what do we need to do first?
Maybe here, Councilman Monk.
I'm not following.
We should listen to Councilman Monk, what his comments are
Councilman
first.
Monk, we're supposed to be listening to you, which is becoming increasingly difficult.
And you should listen to your city clerk that says you should listen to me.
Councilman.
Yes, thank you, Council President. A few questions and points here. Number one, just as we just discussed at length about parking and the lack of parking in the city of Passaic, should we allow these parking permits for clergy only if the institution does not have off-site parking? Some of these religious institutions, they currently have off-site parking with a sign for clergy only. That was question one.
Mr. Fernandez?
And Mayor, you jump in if I'm going in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rick,
'cause one of
before you begin, Rick, I just want to add a little perspective that the clergy parking is often provided not just for service, funerals, things of this nature that may require a specific space right in front of whatever temple or institution, whether it be a synagogue, mosque, and church or parish. And it is often used on different days outside of what we would expect would be their regularly scheduled date. So if you do not have space in the front and you are forced to park in the back because you already had an existing parking lot, that may create an inconvenience in terms of those particular ceremonies. That's just one perspective, that they are not just limited or exclusive to the use for what we often consider service, but specific for all operations, and that much like a loading zone, strategically placing them in the front becomes a necessity on the hours where they are provided.
But if I may, but the ordinance in section 295-65 states that the part of the requirements is to provide proof of vehicle registration and valid driver's license, indicating, I could be wrong, indicating that that spot is designated to a specific vehicle.
Correct. And unless, and of course I understand your perspective, unless the city is going to limit what kind of vehicle the particular applicant would be allowed to drive, or how they will utilize the vehicle, whether they are the ones that lead a funeral procession or whether they are the ones that must be present at the very opening of the building. I just typically, and again, we're just following the model that exists in every other municipality throughout the state. They are typically provided without any restriction or conditions in regards to whether there are existing parking lots or not, or whether they utilize the parking lot for them. So that's it.
All right, yes.
Your mic.
The ordinance actually requires each application to be considered, and one of the considerations is the adequacy of existing, parking at the house of worship, off-street parking. So, that's going to be one of the considerations.
Oh, I see. Section D. Section D. of the ordinance here. I see
A
that.
consideration, just not a restriction, meaning each circumstance may be different in the application. There may be extenuating circumstances why, even though there is additional parking, particular lead of a house of worship would be applying.
Can I ask from a practical point of view, Mr. Fernandez, how often does this occur? That we have applications for,
Well, we don't have any now because we haven't permitted it yet, right? So what will happen is we'll get phone calls, for example, funeral processions and things like that. I mean, Mayor, that happens almost constantly for funeral processions and things like that, where the police department may post up no parking to try to do that. This would, now, just for a point of perspective, we're having a conversation about houses of worship that actually have parking. I want to tell you, especially with the type of municipality that we are and the age of our infrastructure, that most of these houses of worship actually do not have these expansive parking lots. Yeah, we have some, but many of them do not, which is almost a necessity for these events because of what's happening throughout our great city, which we're embracing. But if you're asking currently, we don't have this availability, hence why the mayor wants to propose it. But secondly, we get funeral procession requests constantly. And just like the mayor said, we have to block off in front of that facility because if they got to bring, let's say, the casket down from the house of worship into the vehicle, if we don't restrict that area, people are going to block it and use it. Mayor, did I describe that accurately or did I go off on a tangent?
No, that is a scenario. However, to the councilman's point, Councilman Monk, it is specifically designated to a particular vehicle. However, yes, practically speaking, it would be utilized to ensure that no one else is taking up the space. But however, I would just like to add that some of the spaces that are considered adequate parking may be in distance to the actual house of worship, which does not take into consideration handicap or other limitations of the individual that has to lead the service, which would open up additional applications of wanting handicap or accommodations. This puts all of that to one side and does exactly what every other municipality has done in the similar case of providing a particular parking space for the lead to utilize as they see fit in their duty.
I don't see how this is going to take care of that scenario of a funeral, because
Councilman, we're trying to play around because obviously there are certain times where you create a scenario that is intended for one use and perhaps creates a benefit. We often avoid trying to create a problem. So I'll just speak as plain as possible. If the parking space is designated for the clergy, no one takes it up. If no one takes it up, then during a funeral procession, a hearse, or the clergy can have that parking restricted because it's restricted for other purposes. Unless we're going to show up with the police during a funeral procession and say, hey, that hearse is not your car, and the pastor or whoever it is, the imam or the rabbi is saying, well, I'm driving it, and we go into back and forth. But my likelihood is we're not. They will use it, and we will expect them, or at least have a reasonable expectation that they will act on good faith. And if not, and if violations are so egregious and we have to put police in front of churches, synagogues, mosques, or temples, or whichever house of worship may apply, and we say, hey, you're abusing it during funerals. So the intended but not specific purpose is to ensure that there is an available space that can be utilized for operations by the lead clergy who applies, considering that they do not have adequate space in proximity to the entrance. And if in the future it is utilized for other means, much like if there's a designated space in City Hall for the council, and no one's supposed to park there, but we have a delivery and we say, hey, since it's open, put the delivery there for a second, unless a council member objects, the space, even though it wasn't the intended desire of the putting the space aside, can be utilized in those means. I hope that that made it clear.
Yeah, the reason where I was going with this is that in 295-63, in item B, it says there that the designated clergy parking spaces shall be clearly marked with appropriate signage indicating, number one, clergy parking only. Number two, the days and hours during which the restriction applies. And three, the penalty. Right. So if I live across the street from a church or from a synagogue, and I'm not a member of that synagogue or church, and I see, oh, it says there that I can't park there on Sunday, between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. But I can park there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll put my car there. How will that help a funeral that happens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday? And
Then, of
also,
course, we would have an expectation that they would schedule their services around the designated hours, but we would have no way of compelling them to do so, nor would we have any reasonable expectation that they wouldn't do so. As we have with every ordinance, we place them on for your vote, and we expect the public to adhere to them, and those who would benefit from an approved application would be expected to understand that the sign is intended to protect the space or to reserve it only for those hours of operation. Any dispute would follow the same procedure as any dispute when it comes to traffic. Whether it's street cleaning or whether it's restricted parking loading zone, they would call the appropriate traffic division or the police, and it would be resolved. And if there are repeated or multiple offenses, then we would consider removing the reserved parking.
okay, I'm just not clear because item C says it's 4 hours in a single day, and number two separate time periods per week for regular services. So I just all these different scenarios. I'm just not sure how that's going to cover, to save the time from the police department. Every time there's a funeral, to start
Because it's
posting.
not about a funeral, Councilman. It's not about a funeral. That was one scenario. It's
I
not
see.
about a funeral. It's about providing a specific reserved space for houses of worship, which is not inconsistent with what other municipalities have done around the state. It is a provision that the council is able to make, and that the administration can request. But obviously, it would be up to the council if they would choose to share it. Obviously, any scenario can be brought up as to whether or not it's going to be productive, beneficial, or meet all of the needs of whatever house of worship is applying for. I would argue a proposed no ordinance or approach we take meets all the needs of anyone who is applying. But this is one that we have identified that many clergy, as it is, and those who lead houses of worship tend to be of an older age. Not that we can't identify a few that are young, or maybe multiple, but many aren't. And it's become increasingly an issue and request. And it is within the power of the council to approve it. And of course, we would have the opportunity to share with the number of clergy that it was an ordinance that was passed to accommodate them. And then we would monitor it, regulate it, and bring reports to the council if there are issues, which I imagine and we have seen in the past. The residents have no hesitation coming to the council to let them know this ordinance isn't working.
Yes. And
I see.
Councilman Monk, if I may, I know you have the floor.
Sure.
I think some of those things can be covered by item 3 as well in C. Additional time periods, a special, it says religious holidays, but I'm sure that if anyone puts an application in for anything, including funeral processions or any type of things, can be brought forth to the city council for approval. So I think that kind of covers what you were saying as well, that there's some different events that need to be covered.
Right, Councilman Love, I appreciate that. The only thing is, how do you post on a sign when a funeral is going to happen? Again, if you're a neighbor across the street,
It's not for funerals. Can we put this on the record? The parking is not for funerals.
Okay.
Funerals was just one example. I just want to make clear. Funerals was one example that was utilized to express or demonstrate that the reserved parking for the clergy can be beneficial in other scenarios outside of its intended purpose, such as if there is a funeral and the particular clergy has to drive the hearse or the vehicle that's going to carry the body, or be in the hearse and say, rather than put my vehicle, put the hearse in front of the church on my vehicle because we're having the funeral during the hours of operation that we typically have service. Anything outside of that, yes, there are multiple scenarios that we could say this doesn't help. We're looking to present it to the council for the scenarios that it would help.
Okay, thank you. I have one last comment, and I'll be quiet for this ordinance.
No, don't feel that way at all, Councilman Monk. We
Okay,
appreciate your insights.
the ordinance allows 2 spots, right? Per how many institutions do we have in the city of Passaic?
That would qualify for this?
Yes.
Numerous. I would
Is it?
probably say, it could be anyone's guess, but I would probably say certainly in excess of 100.
Or more.
Some of the religious structures have a large membership. Many have a small membership, right?
Okay.
And many don't need it. Many, if I may add, Council President, many would not even qualify simply because some of the buildings that were constructed over 100 years ago, the front of their buildings are already restricted from any parking, meaning they're painted yellow or they're on a street where you cannot park. So, but your estimate is, I think, very close to accurate in terms of the numbers.
Okay.
If I can just interject for just a moment, and I hope I'm not out of line, and I apologize to my colleagues and to the mayor, in fact I am. But it seems to me that this is a relatively de minimis change we're looking to make to accommodate our ministers, rabbis, imams, etc. I don't want to suggest that all this conversation is not appropriate. Every conversation is, of course. But it seems to me that we're taking away the impact, the desire here to accommodate as much as we can possibly. If there's any group that certainly that we're going to lift on our shoulders, it's going to be that of the clergy for all that they do for us in any number of areas. And I think that being said, I would commend moving forward with this ordinance, Councilman Moon.
No, I can't agree with you more, Council President. I was actually, if I may finish, Council President, I was actually wanted to tighten it up so that it's as convenient as possible for all the religious leaders, and not that we're just creating more headaches for them.
I think what it's going to come down to is what it so often comes down to, Councilman, and that is the situation at the moment, at the time, what else is going on. Certainly there's no church that wants to be disruptive to traffic flow or parking flow, whatever. And certainly the same is true of residents. And it's a question of having the necessary flexibility on a practical point of view, on a situational point of view. And I think that might very well address it to the sensitivity of our police department and, of course, the administration.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other comments that we have on 2504? Where are we on this? Public hearing?
We already closed.
We closed public hearing. So now we're moving on the ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Move it. We have a moving, we have a second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I hope we haven't exhausted you on this in-depth conversation. Both
No, not at all.
Helpful. Now, can we impose on you for your report, sir?
Council President, I'm going to make it brief. I will let you know that we were able to give out over 1,200 turkeys to families during this Thanksgiving holiday. I want to highlight the efforts of our human services, along with Judith Sanchez, Maciel, Sanabria, our youth council, the Passaic High School Youth Bible Club, so many other volunteers, the LDS Church in the city of Passaic, as well as veterans, police, fire, and so many others who came together, as well as the U.S. Federation of Chaplains. They assisted us in giving out not only 1,400 turkeys, but also bags, 1,400 bags, as well as gift cards. We also want to acknowledge sponsors like Certified Angels and the headquarters of ShopRite, as well as many other locals. Will provide you with a list of them. I also want to let you know that I was able to lead a panel during the League of Municipalities regarding autism and approaches for assisting families. We are working very closely with some of our state agencies as well as not-for-profit organizations to address concerns not just of those who are children and minors with autism or on the spectrum, but those who are adults. We have some extremely innovative and exciting opportunities for collaborations and approaches that we look to present to you at the next council meeting and to all of the city council. We've begun work on Bragg Park on Main Ave between Burgess and Summer Street. We're extremely excited, or rather Highland and Burgess, before you get to Summer Street, about the work that has already begun there. I'm going to pause that and limit my reports because I am virtual and I'm having a tough time here.
Any questions to the mayor? Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We're on to our agenda, Roman numeral 7, communications, items 3 through 11. Are there any questions, please, on 3 through 11? Seeing none at this time, is there a motion, please, to accept 3 through 11?
Move it.
Motion?
Second.
Not second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. For receive and file items 12 through 22, please. 12 through 22. Are there any questions, please, on 12 through 22? Seeing no lights at this time, is there a motion to accept 12 through 22? So moved. Motion?
Second.
And second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. We're past Roman numeral 8, please. Resolutions. Number 23 is a resolution authorizing closed executive session of the City Council of the City of Passaic on December 2, 2025 at 7 p.m. or any time thereafter. Do we need a closed executive session, Susan?
No, Council President.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Fernandez? Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you can still hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. No.
Very good, sir. Thank you so much, members of the council.
No.
Very good. We are on resolutions, and we have a group of them. Item 24 through 50 through 50.
86.
I see through 86. And we're taking off 42.
Correct.
Mr. President, may I have 26?
26 separate vote? 26 separate vote. Any other comments or questions, please, on the resolutions as presented?
28. No, not.
Separate vote?
No, no, that's okay.
On 20, you have a question to 28? Councilman, please.
This salt, this comes as we need it. It's not like you get $195,000 in salt and you're making salt water on your nose.
No, I know. We have Fred here. I'm sure Fred would love to do that, but no. So basically what happens is we fill the trucks, we fill our storage unit, and then as it comes up, we call for it. And the beauty is that as we propose these things, they go into trust accounts. So, some years are heftier than others. So it's as needed. It's not like,
We didn't commit to $195,000.
no, we did not.
Okay.
Only as needed, but there's enough there that if we need it, we have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions, please?
Yes, Council President.
What is that?
I'm
Council
sorry, who was
President?
that?
Monk.
Councilman Monk, forgive me. Yes. Yes, sir?
Yes, thank you. A few questions. Just want to point out item 27 for oil. Just a slight minor change. The cost per gallon is $2.18 and 0.0539 cents of delivery. And the resolution is for 8,500 gallons per month. So the total should be 18,988 per month as opposed to 18,955 a month.
Is that an item that should be corrected in the resolution, Councilman?
I'm just pointing it out, and whatever the council feels appropriate there to do.
If I could ask you to repeat your question so that our attorney can give us a thought on this.
It's not a question. I'm just pointing out that the amount of gallons and the cost per month fee cost is $18,988, as opposed to the resolution says $18,955.
So we're talking about a differential of how much?
$33.
There's a typo.
Well, accept it as a typo, Councilman.
Okay.
With your permission.
You please, of course. Okay. The next is item 34.
Item 34, sir.
Yes. Again, just the fourth whereas. This resolution is from June 2025 through January 1, 2026. That's just another 3 weeks. Is this going to be is it supposed to be longer, or we need it just for the end of the year to purchase computer hardware?
So what happened, because I agree with you and I questioned it myself, is because the state, this is based on a state contract, and the delay on the state in getting the bid in, we had to do this to cover us until the January 1st, 2026. So the reason for that was based on the delay of the new contract by the state.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. And my last question is on item 35, resolution 35. Awarding contract for burglar alarm monitoring, equipment and maintenance. So this resolution has a monthly fee plus an hourly fee. So the monthly fee comes out to around close to $30,000, give and take. But the resolution is for $45,000. So just to get some clarity on is it two separate, is there some things which are included in the monthly fee, and then anything that's out of that spec goes to an hourly fee? Is that how this works?
That is accurate.
Okay. So on the back of the resolution, where it has the bids from the other vendors, it also includes, as all resolutions have, it also has who was awarded the contract in prior years and also at what rate. So this company, I believe it's the same company. Oh, no, actually, it was a different company that was awarded in prior years, had an hourly rate of like pretty much is half of what we're paying now. And a premium hourly rate, also pretty much half what we're paying. The only difference is they went up monthly. It doesn't say what our monthly fees were in prior years.
You're saying there's no comparison factor, Councilman?
Correct.
Mr. Fernandez, would that information be readily available to you or no?
Not right now. I would have to go up to the purchasing office.
If we would ask the administration if we could take this off and have it on our next meeting, would that be?
Again, always when it's December and there's contracts, I always get nervous because if they don't make it back, I don't have a contract for next year.
Oh.
So that's my concern.
Okay.
The bids, I can tell you that the bids that you have are accurate, right? That's what came in. And the one discrepancy that you may see is that when they gave us an hourly rate, if you look above the awarded to, it was
right.
It started in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So the hourly rates in 2022 were a lot less than they are now going into 2026. And that's why we get into several year contracts, so we can lock people in at an hourly rate that's less. So just for the board's edification, I don't want you to see, oh, they jumped from $65 to now $100. Well, no, that was $65 from 2022, and now it's $115 for 2026. Right? I wanted to make that clarity. It's not like it's last year to this year. The previous contract was from 22 to 25.
Right.
So we're locking this rate in for those next 3 years at the 115
Okay.
hourly rate.
Right. So, Mr. Business Administrator, you touched on another point which I wanted to bring up, which is of concern, that this resolution makes no reference, what I could find, that it's a 3-year contract. It's a very open-ended resolution. It doesn't say when it starts, doesn't say when it ends. I mean, typically resolutions say exactly for what period of time we are authorizing this contract.
Let me check real quick. So, I am getting you the answer right now because what may happen is this makes the bid part of the process, and sometimes if it's, and I know I'm not disagreeing with you, Councilman. Usually what happens is if it's in the bid for the 3-year process, then it becomes, it's part of the resolution. So I'm just verifying that right now. Because it's not, I don't have it as part of the backup. What I have as part of the backup is exactly what the council has. So I don't have the actual bid specs, but I can get you that information.
I mean, before we vote on it, we have.
I understand completely your request. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I don't have that in front of me.
Okay.
Councilman Monk, can I have some direction from you, please?
Again, if it's, I just uncomfortable voting on a resolution without any time frame in it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that. The backup I have is the same you have, so I'd have to go up to the office to verify.
Mr. Fernandez, you know how rare it is that we ask for something to be held. I'm concerned, however, that from what we're hearing, without specificity in terms of 3 years, et cetera, that this is something which deserves further.
It's completely understandable.
Packet.
Huh?
It was in the packet. It's on the website. If you go to the contract period, the contract for the period of 1 year with the option to renew the contract for discretion of up to 2 1-year terms or
Thank
one
you.
2-year term. It's in the.
Well, there you go.
Am I reading the same one? I mean, on the City of Passaic.
So yeah, I'm not on that. I'm not on the website, but yeah, so I'm glad that's on
the
there.
website. And you just double check. But
Let me go to the website real quick. But that seems exactly how we would write it. Yeah, hold on.
it's the right bit. Burglar monitoring equipment.
Do you have it readily available, Adeli? Because it's on. Basically, he's looking at your website, the city clerk's website.
It's on.
You can bring your laptop.
Got it, wait on.
Just want to make sure I'm looking at the right place. I can be looking at something.
I want to make sure. Listen, I understand the councilman's point exactly. We just want to make sure that it's the accurate. But that does seem like what it is. We'll do 1 year with a 2-year option, which is pretty much what we did for the first round. That's just go to city clerk's office real quick. I'm telling you, get so used to the mouse that now I'm using this pad here. I'm going everywhere but where I need to go.
It's in bid postings. That's where I found it.
All right, I have it here. Contract period is for a period of 1 year with the option to renew the contract at the city's discretion for 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term. So at the council's discretion, it would be up to a 3-year term, which is consistent with the original one. That's why the original was 2022 to 2025. Thank you very much, Councilman Mayor. I would have had to pull this later. That is exactly what I would have went upstairs to pull.
Okay.
Does that provide satisfaction to everyone in terms of?
Yes.
Are there any other questions that?
I would just ask, please, if at a later date over the next week, if someone could just send me what the last year's, this prior year's contract, what the monthly rate was as well, just for comparison, please.
Mr. Fernandez will be getting that out to you shortly.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on these resolutions before us? With the council's permission, items 24 and 25, is there a resolution to accept?
Yes.
Motion and second on 24 and 25. Roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes. On 26, please, alone.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please, on 26 only.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Stay.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. That was on 26. On 27 through 41. 27 through 41. Are there any questions, please? Seeing none, is there a motion on 27 through 41?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call,
Councilman,
please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. That was on, I'm sorry,
That was
Up to
20
41.
27 to 41
on 43
to 86.
to
86.
86. Are there any questions, please?
No.
Roll call.
We need a motion.
Move.
Second.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. There are no other resolutions, correct?
That is it, sir.
Okay, we're on payment of bills. Roman numeral 9. Are there any questions on the bills? Seeing no lights at this time, is the motion please to accept the bills as presented by the clerk?
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please, on the bills.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. Administrators report. Roman numeral 10. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, Council President, I have a brief statement. I'd like for the council and for the edification of the public, just to see the number of resolutions that we did amending the budget, which we call Chapter 159. And I'd just like to take this moment to let everyone know the amount of work that goes into. These are grants that we receive to offset our budget. And what you passed today was offsetting our budget by almost $20 million in grants that this administration goes out and applies for. And that just goes to show the work of all the staff that we have here. I have to give thanks to our CFO, Omar Garcia, that puts all this together, and every single director that goes out and applies. And when we say at our meetings that we turn over every rock and try to squeeze every bit of juice wherever it is, I just want to show that this is an example of that. we are one of the municipalities, and our auditor constantly tells us that out of all the municipalities, which they have many in the state of New Jersey, they've never seen a municipality go after and receive as many grants as the city of Passaic. So that's a testament to everyone's work, and I just wanted to make that clear. And whenever I have the opportunity, I'm going to let everyone know that this is what we're doing here in the city of Passaic, unlike many of the other municipalities that we have. Thank you,
sir.
Council President.
The council joins you, the administration, and certainly finance area, in thanking all of our employees for the extraordinary work that they do to bring us where we are. Certainly, we would not be in the good shape that we are without their assistance and direction and guidance. Any questions or comments from members of the council?
Yeah, I would like to just
Councilwoman.
congratulate our business administrator because he was recognized down at the Legal Municipality.
Yes.
So congratulations.
For best answer or for what?
Happy feet.
I was very humbled and honored. It's not every day you get a Career Achievement Award, and I was lucky enough to have a Distinguished Service Award from the New Jersey Municipal Managers Association for my years of service as a municipal manager in the state of New Jersey. So I'm very proud and humbled to receive that. But just like I said 5 seconds ago about all the work, it takes a village, and we have a very strong knit village here in the city of Passaic, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well done.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilman Melo, on bringing that out.
And Mr. Council President,
Councilman Monk.
if I could just amend what our business administrator just said, for his years of service, I would change it to for his years of service and for his future years of service to the city of Passaic.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilman Monk. We all join you in that thought as well. At this point, is there a motion, please, to adjourn? Motion. May we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Roll call to adjourn, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
All right.